and welcome to Robin's house. Today, since Stampin' Up! Is just kind of starting their scrapbooking line, I thought it might be fun to talk with you a little bit about how I started scrapbooking. So I got in my closet and I found my very first scrapbook that I've ever made. I made this in middle school, and it was our trip to Hawaii with my mother. And so you can see it was on these sticky pages. It's made of magazine letters and my mom had a die cut machine at school, and or I cut these out by hand, very possibly by spacing, tracing ones together. So this has, the memorabilia in there, the tickets, cutting out of brochures, a few photos. And so this is maybe how one starts out scrapbooking. And then, so this was in 1988. And then in 1999, I went to work at Walt Disney World. And so I decided to scrapbook that as I was going along. So I've got, posters from there, got the fancy scissors now, and some stickers and adding things in. I'm still on these sticky sheets and writing by hand our photos. It's my uniform. I don't know what their uniform is now, but that's what I wore most days. And so my roommates and, mostly focusing on those fun scissors. And one of my jobs was to write on hats, so I had to practice at first. I got a checking account at the local bank, and so I had a Visa credit union card and a check with Mickey Mouse on it. Very fun, right? Oh, and I did get a Visa card that was Mickey inspired as well. So very fun. So this is how scrapbooks evolve. And then in 2003, 2002 really, I was getting ready to go to officer candidate school. And so you can see I have evolved into 12 by 12, still kind of hand lettering things and focusing mostly on round photos and cutting. I've got some embellishments now, but those are more like beads and stuff. A lot of copy machine items that I cut out, and I'm working with vellum. Vellum is fun, and just getting the elements on here. And as I was going through a lot of these pages, especially my very similar wedding album and my engagement album, putting together these pages took a long time. I would spend, days on a 2-page layout, just trying to get the elements right and how I wanted them. So it wasn't very long until around 2008 when I was introduced to Close to My Heart and how they do their layouts and how much easier it was when all the papers coordinated. There was a plan already in place for your layouts, so you could, the basic design of the pages was already planned for you. And you had more than one page that matched itself, so you could have a whole event going on there. Now, this is me at Orcas Island up in Washington. We used to go every year when I was a kid, so we have many years worth of stuff. So this one is a different paper pack, but it still has elements that you can add in your photos however you want to. And it just made it so much faster and easier when everything matched and there was a plan. And then we've got this another year. This was the year I think it was my grandmother died. We added her into the ocean to my grandfather so they could say hello. This might have been the year my grandpa died because you can't see, he's up in this photo over here. So that might be grandpa that we're putting in the ocean. This was his favorite fishing spot, and he lost many, many fishing poles there. My other grandpa helped us on that trip. And then we actually went camping on that fishing trip, so that was very fun. But anyway, having those elements made it so much easier. But as you're starting out, I found it the most easiest to start with a purpose or a theme. So one of the first things you start, how about start on a smaller level? So this one is kind of my baby album, my own ABC album. So you just kind of pick a format and you repeat that format through the alphabet so that you can just, it's not so hard because you're doing the same thing over and over, just altering the paper, actually these ones are all caboodle, so it's just altering the design paper, but they all match. So you can just go from letter to letter, and it's not very difficult. Another easy way to start out is having one whole theme, like one trip or one event or one person in your family. And then you can, it's a little easier to do things because it's kind of contained. It's a small way to start, and it's a little less pressure. You don't have to fill so much of a page because it's only 6 by 6. So 6 by 6 is a really fun size to start with. And and it's also a really fun size to look at or leave around for others to see. So that is scrapbooking over the years. I hope that was fun for you. Thank you so much for watching. Happy crafting.